article in the New Yorker now. Within these ambitious dimensions, she creates intricate works that shimmer on the boundary between abstract and figurative. She seems to love nature, but they seem to be, according to this art critic, Rebecca Mead, they seem to be more about a state of mind as much as trying to capture a state of nature. And again, according to Rebecca Mead, they're always energetic and sometimes ecstatic. They bloom into color and motion and light. And as a cocoon improvises from its surroundings, her paintings improvise from what she surrounds herself in her studio. She likes home furnishings and she loves clothing. So she's a bit of a dresser herself, and she likes to keep clothing and textiles all over her studio. They inspire her in her work. Morning, Daniel. There's a chair here and there. She received a master's degree in painting just 7 years ago and has since become one of the most prominent, and I'm quoting here, ultra contemporary artists. This is a new term in the art market. It designates practitioners born after 1974. She had her first solo exhibition at the Pippi Holdsworth Gallery in London. Anybody ever been there? The Pippi Holdsworth Gallery in London in 2017 when she was only 24. And then less than 4 years later, the Institute of Contemporary Art in Miami gave her her first solo museum show. She's since been acquired and purchased by many international institutions, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Walker Art Center in Minneapolis, and in 2022, when she was still not yet 30 years old, she was included in the Venice Biennale. That was curated by Cecilia Alamani, who said, quote, "Her paintings have this power of dragging or sucking you in. Seen from close up, they look like," oh, sorry, let me back up. One of the works, she said, seen from close up looks like an abstract composition, but from afar it looked almost like the entrance to a magic forest. And Laura, it appears that Susan is trying to re-enter on her cell phone. Thank you. So she often uses oil paint, acrylic paint, and oil pastels in a single canvas. And many curators and art experts are impressed by her very precocious command of her materials.
Wow.
Okay, I'm hearing wows. Why? Let me hear why you think her work is so wow. Folks at home or here? Okay, John, go ahead.
Shape, musicality.
Thank you for bringing up musicality. Music is a big deal for Jade. She always has music playing in her studio. It inspires her and helps her to create her work.
And I like the way she put just a touch of light.
Mm-hmm. Katie Hessel, the author of the revisionist art history book called The Story of Art Without Men. I love the title, no offense to the gentleman in the room. which surveys the work of women artists from the 16th century to the present, chose Fatah as one of three, quote, new masters, end quote, from the current decade. Quote, it's so difficult with abstract art to create a new language with everything in the 20th century. Hessel said of Fatah work, quote, it's mesmeric. She sees the world in such an extraordinary way. She sees it through color. So she's also received acceptance in the financial art world. Christie sold one of her giant canvases for $2 million, which is 3 times what it was actually estimated to go for. It's pretty amazing. And she works quickly. So some of her paintings are completed in just a few hours. Some of them she goes back to and she paints over the pieces so that there's kind of a scrim over the top, or a veil, a layering of a veil of paint.
Liz,
Yes.
in the bottom, in the center, it looks like a person where the yellow is, with flowing,
The yellow vertical or horizontal?
yes.
Okay,
it's
almost in the middle.
It looks like a pony.
Okay. This is one of the great things about abstract art is you can see things within the painting. I'm not sure the artist intended that, but it's okay.
I call that a painting within the painting.
Yes. Talk about color. Look at this one. She really went to town with color in this one.
It vibrates. I mean, it resonates.
Okay. Sometimes she works with a sketch nearby, but her paintings are not mapped out or imagined in advance. She loves to work at night. She's a night owl, and she puts on all different kinds of music, from punchy dance songs to orchestral soundtracks. And she loves Japanese anime. So she likes the soundtracks from anime movies.
Liz, what is her medium?
She uses oils, acrylic, and oil pastel. So multiple mixed media works. And critics are very impressed with her ability, her skill to use all three things in one painting. So the rhythms of the music, excuse me, leave a mark in her work. You can see the imprint of things like a beat drop or a repeated rhythm in what she's listening to. Some people say her work is kind of like an opera, a visual opera. In 2019, she became the youngest artist to have a work enter the collection of the Tate Museum in London. And you know, the Tate is Britain's most famous modern and contemporary art museum. So that's, you know, she's making it.
Is any of her work in New York?
She is represented by the Gagosian Gallery in Chelsea.
Wow.
So she has had multiple shows here in New York City. She also believes that she has something called synesthesia. Synesthesia is a thing that makes people unusually sensitive to color and sound. When she's listening to different kinds of music, the tone of the room will change. She said, quote, to me, color is a sense in itself. Color is feeling. So people with synesthesia actually feel color. So for example, I'm looking at Susie's beautiful reddish gloves over there. I mean, I like the color, but I don't think I have synesthesia. I don't react to those gloves and their color in an emotional way. But Jade, the artist, would. I find that fascinating. This is, I think, my favorite image in the slideshow. Just love the color. That hot pink with the green, if you remember from color theory, which I am going to review with folks today, red and green are what we call complementary colors. The primary red with its complementary opposite on the color wheel often work well together. Just love that turquoisey thing popping up in the middle of the composition, the middle bottom foreground. Just really is so exciting to me.
I like her arc movement lower.
Yeah, there's so much motion in these paintings. Am I right? A lot of line, Eileen. Is that what you've been noticing first? The line, not the color. Cool. I love how everyone's vision, everyone's perception of art is different. To me, that's the most amazing thing about art. You can see that kind of what I believe in this painting is that scrim technique where she goes back and paints over different areas of the painting. And I think that may be what's going on in the bottom left corner and the bottom upper right corner, where it's much more blended and swishy, a little bit more blurry. But I'm only guessing that's what's going on.
To me, it looks like she paints the background before she goes into the color.
Could be, could be. I don't have that information. So she grew up in Ilford, which is a town on the eastern fringe of Greater London. She's the eldest of three daughters. Her father was a management consultant and her mother a civil servant. They are British of Nigerian heritage, and in some respects, her upbringing stuck to really familiar cultural contours. She had a very strict upbringing and was expected to perform well academically. But she said she didn't have the toughest Nigerian parents in the world because, you know, I'm doing art. She did do well in mathematics in school, but veered away from that and went on to the Slade School of Art, which is one of the best art schools in London, and did very well there. She was a solitary child as an adolescent and depressed, which she now recognizes. But she says it was a wonderful time. She didn't understand that everybody didn't feel the way that she felt. She chose to be alone. She removed herself from others because she couldn't understand why people cared so much about blending in and trying to be like everybody else. She just wanted to be her own person. So her bedroom became this magical world where she did her art. She liked to collect dolls. Again, she fell in love with Japanese manga and anime. She found anime by watching something called Sailor Moon, which was a television adaptation of a manga series. Susan, you're going to love this, about a girl whose encounter with a talking cat inducts her into a new identity as a powerful heroine who fights evil. You know that one, Daniel? Is it good?
Yeah, it's still part of pop culture.
Okay. She loved anime so much, she went to Japan. She lived in Japan for quite a while to connect. Okay, cool. Cool. Thank you, Laura. She preferred classical music growing up to hip hop, etc. So she was different. She liked to dress up, and she would dress up like her dolls and created this imaginary world that she compared to Disneyland. She felt like she was existing beyond existence. Again, she did well in math, physics, and art, and then enrolled in the Slade School of Fine Art. In this one, okay?
But it also looks like petite.
A little bit like batik, yes. Do you see the figures? Oh, I see a figure now too. I didn't see it before. Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, there's some of my, yeah. This one's been down, so.
I like that. Thank you for that observation, Heather. Um, she was always thinking about feelings, particularly the soundtracks that she was listening to gave her strong feelings, and she couldn't let go of those feelings. And when she was in art school, all she wanted to do was paint paintings about her feelings. But at the time she was in art school, current, pretty contemporaneous time, people said, oh no, you can't just do paintings about your feelings. You have to have a concept, you have to have an idea behind your work. And she said, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm all about color and feelings. And she persisted and kept doing what she does. And it seems to be paying off for her. She also disliked any suggestion that her work was about her racial identity. As I mentioned, she is of Nigerian heritage and is Black. And she feels that the British African experience is very different from the African American experience, and that her work really, unless it's coincidental, has nothing to do with the colonial history or the African diasporic experience of other African artists or African diasporic artists. She went on to receive a Master's of Art at the Royal College of Art in England, and then she spent a 4-month exchange program in Kyoto. All right, for that mispronunciation. All right, I'm just going to go through these images quickly now. I do invite you to go to this November 11th, 2024 article in the New Yorker. It does go on to talk about the fact that she was in 2020 diagnosed with bipolar depression. And it's interesting how she talks about that diagnosis and how she was worried about it making her have a label, and that her artwork would then be labeled as someone who has a psychological diagnosis, and how it bothered her initially, but now she realizes that it's okay, and she's very open about talking about her mental condition, and thinks it's important that other people know that it does manifest itself in her work, and it does influence her work.
Liz. And
Yes, sir.
also, by her exposing that, it's letting other people that are dealing with that situation to know that don't give up. You you can still accomplish what you want to accomplish.
Yes, she does not feel handicapped or hampered by being bipolar at all. So if that's a byproduct of what she does and what she talks about, I suppose that's a good thing. But she doesn't feel as if it's a handicap, nor does she feel that it's held her back in any way.
Wow. Liz, it looks like a bunch of birds flying.
It does, or leaves of plants. This one, to me, this is my second favorite picture in the slideshow. This one has a very jungly feel for me. But I do so much like those dark images against the very colorful background.
And I like the way it's not completely black. It's like the green comes through.
Right. If you've ever been lucky enough to be in a rainforest, this is actually how it looks. You see very little light coming through because the vegetation is so thick. But when you do see it, it has this kind of jewel-like appearance. The composition in this one is great. It forces my eye to move all over the image. I think this may be the last picture. And I think I had one more quote, but her final quote in this article is kind of cool. She says, "I always keep the work that I know I'll never be able to make again."
Ah,
I like that. Nope, there's more.
Liz, can I say something in reference to what you just said?
Sure. Go
As
for
an
it.
artist, your artwork becomes like your children.
Yes,
It's so hard to let go of,
sometimes.
like what you just said. However, you have to let it be free and go out into the universe.
If you want to.
And there's some pieces I create that I just, like you just said, I will keep until the time comes to pass it on.
Okay. Every artist is different. Some people love giving their artwork away or selling their artwork. I encourage folks to show and sell their work as much as possible. Any other thoughts on her work? Love this one.
Liz, it's Robin from home. Just all of her work is amazing to me. Some of it almost feels like collages, and just the color and the balance and the space, everything. Just it's very inspiring.
Awesome.
To let go, just to let go and paint. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. And to me also, and thank you all for your comments, to know that there are still artists who are not conforming to what the commercial art world is all about in this day and age and still doing well and making a living for themselves, I think is exemplary. So that's another reason why I wanted to share her with everyone. It's a hopeful thing to know that your personal style, the way you create your own artwork, is of value. Here is this young woman who pushed forward and forged ahead, doing her own thing, and wouldn't let anybody tell her what to do. And look how well she's doing. So you have to listen to your own inner self and follow that voice. All right.
Liz,
Yes,
I
sir.
like her freedom of movement with her lines.
Me too.
And I had a professor teacher that said, don't think, just let it come out.
And that
And
was
that last painting just, wherever it brought her is where she went.
cool. All right, so we are going to do abstract painting today. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for your comments today.
you.
They've been really terrific. I am going to do a demonstration. I'm going to talk about the color wheel briefly. Many of you have seen it multiple times. I'm also going to show you different techniques for doing abstraction. You don't always have to use a paintbrush. And that was really evident in Jade's work. So I want to show you some options of ways that you can use everyday materials other than brushes for creating abstraction. Now, abstraction, I've said this many times and I'm going to repeat it. It's very difficult to teach because there are so many things involved. There's color, there's line, there's composition, there's things like balance. And I'm going to talk about that during the demonstration as well. And here's how we're going to arrange this class. Those of you who are here, there's all the materials at the back. Help yourselves to whatever you want. I'm encouraging you to focus on using acrylic paint today, but there is soft pastel, there's oil pastel, watercolor paint. There's also Conti crayon, pencil, multiple things to use. The paper that is on the table behind Daniel, that's what I want you to use to create your artwork on. The other paper that's on the window ledge next to the paint is cheaper paper. You can use that for your palette. And I'll show you that during the demonstration. Folks at home, set up your studio space. Any colored media that you would like to use would be great. We're going to really focus on color today, just the way Jade does in her work. Those of you at home, you have the option to work from music as well, have music on in your studio. We're not going to do that here today unless you have earphones and you would like to listen to your personal soundtrack and see how that inspires you in your work. I will tell you that in future, we may do some classes to music, specifically designed to do work to music, but we're not going to do that today. All right, any questions? Diane, I'm going to help you find things, so do not feel anxious about that. And folks at home, once we're done with the demonstration, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen for everyone, folks at home and here, to look at for ideas and inspiration. All right, let's get started. Oh, any questions? We're good to go. All right. And not like Shade's work. Got to guess. Like it. And if you want to read the article about Sade from the New Yorker, it's up by my laptop and you can take it at any time. And where's Diane? Diane, I could try. Very bright. And I invite you to watch me demonstration.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not a, like I said, I'm more, I did a lot of theory, poetry, writing, this is my go-to. Oh, sure. Oh, no, okay. Great. Yeah, I'm now, like I said, I'm doing something. Hang up to my home, which is like 2 blocks from my house, I'm making phone calls. Yeah. Squeeze us in. I want to. So, oh, no, no, no. It's from now to March 27th. Because our main one is renovated, so they haven't ended, but it's very tiny.
Most of you know all this stuff already. I invite you to watch in case you need review. Diane, I don't know if you've ever done this before, so you might want to watch.
Okay.
I'm almost ready though, don't. You can watch on the big screen or you can come and watch. I like them. You know, those are not as transparent, they're more opaque. Not everyone did that by now. I'm glad you asked. All right. Ready to do the demo? Good to go. Folks at home, can you see me on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Folks in here, I'm gonna ask you not to talk while I'm doing the demonstration. You can watch me on the big screen here, or you can come behind the tripod and watch. So basic color theory is about the color wheel. And the fact that there's 3 kinds of colors. All the colors in the universe are based on these three primaries. And the people of five. People on that has not Roger. Primary are red. Find color wheels online. Google color wheel and you will find 9 million billion pictures of color wheels. And then I am using acrylic paint. Acrylic paint is quite interesting to use. You can thin it down and make it very transparent. But acrylic paint is good to use if you want opaque, less see-through colors. Thick. It tends to dry pretty rapidly. Another primary color is yellow. Wash my brush very well. That's the kind of artist I am. Be patient, and brush. So another kind of paint that Jade self-uses, watercolor. Watercolor paint is different from acrylic because it's much more transparent and thinner when you apply it to paper than acrylic. There are acrylics now that mimic or copy watercolor paint. You can actually buy acrylic watercolors. Or you can buy just regular watercolor. And the third primary color, remember I said there were three. Third primary color is blue. Art color theory are the secondary colors. Secondary colors, sense by the definition of primary and secondary. Primary means one and only one. You cannot mix the primary colors. You can only buy them. Go to the art supply store, you buy red, yellow, and blue. Secondary colors are mixed by mixing two colors together. Second, two. Secondary colors are made by mixing two colors together. All right. What happens when we mix red with yellow? And so I like to start with the light color first. Always easier. Light and add just a wee bit of the dark color. You always add more dark to light. It's much harder to add light to dark. So start with the light color first and add a little bit of dark as you go. So this is not orange enough yet for me. So I'm going to add more of the red. Really. Red, yellow, and orange. Starting up. So we're gonna do that. Combo we're gonna do is blue with yellow. What am I gonna do? Green. Yellow. Primary. Mix those two primaries together. Then you get secondary color. Green. Hopefully there's not too much red left on my brush. I'm starting with yellow and let's start with the light color first. I'm gonna use it. You know, like it in your own. It's actually still very light, but once you mix it, I think it needs more. But you can see, it's green. Right? You make a question, but absolutely, I mean, like, after you make this color, do the when you're painting and you want to different colors, like blue and green, and yellow and green. Composed, since green is composed of yellow and blue, using them together in some way. So, does that have any effect? You know what I mean? It's gonna be a very good question. Yes, but I don't get, I don't think I have. Effect on what? That's on your feeling, that's on your perception. Looking at something and you have a reaction, you see, you know, emotional reaction, physical reaction. And chemical. Yes, it has an effect. And so, and that's what color theory is all about. That was a great question. So when, and that's a great segue into what's coming next. So hold on to that thought. All right, what happens when you mix red with blue? Purple. Fabulous. My problem now is my water is so dirty. But don't worry then. So here's a note. When you work with this kind of student grade acrylic, you're never going to get perfect purple. You're never going to get perfect purple because it's not true color. It's not high quality. And the other problem with red and blue is they're equal in value. One isn't lighter than the other. I'm arbitrary about it. I don't start with red because we need blue darker than red. Well, light and dark. I'm going to start with red, and I'm only going to add a tiny bit of blue. Like I said, though, it's not going to be pure violet with blue. And the probably be a brown. Okay.
trick, I didn't get any white, the trick for getting closer to violet with the low grade trees, it's with a little bit of white. But in the real world, this would be violet, and if you wanted to be blue violet or a darker violet, you would add more. If you wanted to be red violet, you would put more red. Honestly, too, when you add more water to a cool thing, it becomes very thin and transparent, almost like water. When you use more paint and less water, it's more opaque. All right, now it's where it gets fun. Now we get into what are called the tertiary colors, or some people call them neutral colors. And you create them by mixing complements. Complements are the colors that are opposite each other in color. It doesn't mean they complement each other, but it means is when you mix primary colors with opposite on the color wheel, they always make the grayish brown background. So for example, red with green, blue with orange, yellow with violet. Complementary colors tends to, I would say, dull the color down, kind of neutralize color. It loses its brightness or intensity, but it becomes more of an earth tone. Still be intense, but it and the other way you can do it is all colors together. So last color we did was violet. So I'm gonna mix violet with yellow. Show you how you can use the primary color with a secondary complement to create this new. Any questions so far? Roundabout way. When you put primary color next to its complement, it has an effect, visual effect. It will change the way you perceive the color. There is an artist named Joseph, J-O-S-E-F, Albert, Art Class, who spent his entire life doing painting on my very subject. Joseph Albert. So this is all yellow, and I'm going to put some violet in it. We're going to see what happens. Violet. And how much blue or red is in the yellow. See how it makes it a more neutral, earthy color. If you want it darker, I would add more of the violet. That's what happened with red and green. I don't want to show you all of these because usually I'm at time to different colors. You have to experiment, you have to play. What is all that? And if you want lighter pink, darker blues around black. Or complementary color. Now, different things that you can use. Kindergarten. But adult artists do it all the time. Paper towel. She did a lot, if you look closely at her work, she did a lot with paper towel. It's great. You find out, you can stamp. You use large brushes. So you can use the hard end of the stick handle. While the paint is wet, you can literally draw into the stroke paint. You can have fun. All right. Demonstration done. You're welcome. And you can do your sleeve with the end. That's it. Grammars. I'm gonna put the picture. I-A-R-Y for three.
I just thought, a great book that we use in color, is the One Cell Color Theory. A great book, and it brings you through the tips and you run the
Yeah.
moment. It's a great book, I highly recommend
We can spend a whole year just on colors here.
it. And
It's a great book, mine sells color theory.
it's a black book with red lettering.
Wow, you have such a great memory. Okay, we're gonna now put a picture up on the screen for those of you who learn well through copying. Choose to copy or not, that is entirely up to you. I think it's a great way to learn it, that's your style. Diane, you walked into the right room today. Yeah, look how cool that is.
Because all I have in my mind is laughter. And the beauty of what I'll never see again.
And also the beauty of fire, the building heart of fire itself. Yep. Ironic dichotomy of that. All right, so we're gonna pin me again, right, Laura? I love that she works large. Some of my paintings are 10 feet by 12 feet for those of you who are, I mean, 10 feet by 16 feet. That's really big.
Where's your studio now?
My studio is at Manna Contemporary, which is in Jersey City, Newark Street. Correct.
And there's a very famous sculptor on the floor in the cafeteria.
There is indeed.
And the Florence Academy used to be of the United States situated there.
I did not know that.
I think it was on the 6th floor. And
I'm trying to remember the name of the sculptor, but I'm blocking it.
she's on the corner when you go into the cafeteria. I forget her name. Amazing. She does these sculptures of swimmers. And when they mount it, it looks like they're swimming.
Oh, you're thinking of a different sculptor than I am. I thought you were referring to um,
When you walk
the
downstairs.
cars.
Downstairs is a sculpture area, but up by the cafeteria is another sculpture.
Aha, I haven't seen those. Lucky you.
She,
All right, excuse me, John, there's a picture up on the screen now. If you want, you can copy this. There's a famous male sculptor who uses car parts.
uses what?
Car parts, welded car parts. On the ground floor of man, and his work has been used for like forever. Yeah, if you run across brushes that are so stiff they won't soften in the water, do me a favor, just throw them away. They're really good. Why do people pay $125 for a book? What was it that- Yes. Why? No, it's women. But I think you for no, but you can buy it. If you want it. Yeah, the argument was made by the galleries. But it is the thing that we have to buy and need. All of that goes to continue to inflate the price. Yeah. Just like with the
I'm not getting excited about them. That's hard. Mommy. It's awesome. Consumable. That's what you are. Yeah, NFT. How much do they say? A lot.
You love it? I love it. I have a pen. I will never know. Not the same one. It's but I might want. I mean, it's nice.
That's nice.
He's like very good. It's a special yellow. That's nice.
Yeah,
Okay, what's the base one?
For me to be honest, it is not mine. But I know. Yeah. It's mine, you know.
Yeah.
No, I might. It's not. I mean. There is no way. That's so great.
I don't know if she's worked
I decided, yeah.
But so what?
Who else you decided?
This is
Not me.
the continuous. Have you gone to the
What?
We also arranged with Peter Mann.
Why not? Why not?
There is no one who can do it.
You never know till you try.
Huh?
I always like your interpretations. Yeah, I like them dark. More.
Green, orange, black, red.
My goal for January is to have fun and a little bit of joy. Okay, you're not listening to that. That silly thing. Oh, it's your face? Great. Sally, I like this. I like this. That one's finished, Sally. Start a new one.
You just remind me, say cold. Larry Gomes, I remember.
Yes.
Oh my, I studied with him for 3 years.
I've had such a lucky past.
And his wife is Paula.
I love this lady.
Yes.
I love this lady.
Yes.
And this lady.
You are doing so good. I love that you sketch when I'm doing the lecture.
This lady.
You are so great, Sally. Let me check on the folks at home. Folks at home, you're doing good? Awesome. You can always yell for me if you need me.
Liz,
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
I went to one of Larry's shows and I have the book of his paintings.
I would like to see her.
I just
So jealous.
remind brought it back.
Okay. Read on Tuesday.
Yes.
I make a little soft dog.
Exactly. He's gonna know. It's rusty.
Now, in Massachusetts, I kept it.
Anger. Yeah. Defiance.
Love the composition. Like the black of the trees, against the college. Yes. Good luck.
I think this is.
Oh, I know, but I wanna be her. I like to go on.
Oh, there you go. If you make it.
Yeah, okay, so we want color, we want. Call it a decade day, a decade day.
We'll talk.
I'm coming, oh, I meant to. I think so. Six. Essie, you and I have talked.
No.
It's a Monday. Oh, you know, I'm sure that I'm not going. Oh, I just.
Are you still working? No, I can't celebrate.
I know, but I'm just.
The other one, I'm babysitting anyway.
Alright. Okay, I'm not gonna paint on your paint. No, never. As a teacher, I never do. Get another. Whatever I do, you say it. Okay. Wow. Okay, so watch. And draw with oil. This is what she does. That's what we do. And then. You can see right over. Now this is watercolor paint. And because you drew with something that's oil based, it resists the water. And the water. You see.
almost like batik wax resist.
Here's like the.
It's fun. So I'll leave this here for you. If you want to picture it. The only problem is your pickle will be wet, but this dries quick.
Okay, thank you.
I have no idea what time it is.
It is 11:30.
It's 11:30, so you still have 15 minutes. Don't do that. Yes, it's like a line.
Thank you.
I'm putting online, but don't impress me for a line. You have the whole existing vocabulary.
Well, I learned from you.
That's my job.
It's like a big course. I've never taken a course before.
You've never taken a course before. You learn exactly what you do. So smart. You learn quick. Last year, yes. We can do it.
This is a color.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You can mix that.
Yeah, I was just trying to get an orange haze.
I'll take these into your one.
Yeah, who's playing? Right, I know, yeah. That's what she said. You know what? She said this was one of those steps. I choose to use. Yeah, yeah, no, choose, I get another intent about it, but thank you for the suggestion.
Is the demand? Yeah, I mean, the demand is created like with any other. People will pay. Doesn't just feel.
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary. It completely is. Art is subjective, guys. It's all in the eye of the beholder. The critics tell you they know something. They went to art school. And, you know, you can choose to believe and trust them or not. The people with money have decided to give them the power to determine what they think is worth to buy. What else is new? It's everything is like that
I know.
in a capitalist society.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Everything. Cars, refrigerators, art. It's
Just to make you feel important.
But quite frankly, it's much better, from my experience, or maybe not experience, but from what I've read about and witnessed in the world. Artists do better in capitalist societies than they seem to do communist. Communist
Because they
societies,
can't do what they want.
you're told what to do. You don't have a choice.
Society don't have money also.
And there's no one.
Survive.
The best culture in the world, I believe, and this is my opinion, to be an artist is Japan.
Yeah.
Well, in Japan, they have a system called living treasures. And artists who have talent and skill are supported by the government. They're housed, clothed, and fed by the Japanese government.
And they recognize their potential at a young age.
I'm not sure how they determine who's a living treasure. I don't know enough about it. You could look that up.
The child expresses themselves, they see it.
It's a very aesthetic culture. Beauty is very important in the culture and life of Japanese people.
way that they learn calligraphy.
And I've never been to Japan, but it's on my life list. SDU bit.
Yeah, they take very seriously. Within the domain.
It's all about.
Craft. Very good. It's something. Very mindful. That's fiction. I really like this. Investigation. That's actually. What have you been doing? Dying, mom,
It's fun. Dark purple. I changed my friends. Well, that's why.
Can't be like true, like real, you should stand Zion. So Must, are you gonna go on the wall? Nice, go to
I almost wrote it in trying to make it deep purple. I told you it's very, I know. Right, a little more red. I'm gonna go home and try to make
dark. Not with the she has one.
Okay.
It's
Golden.
Yeah.
They're the best
Is that
thing
good? Well,
on the
I'll
planet.
try some. I still have that. Is that anything about the meeting tonight on the bar chart?
Where they left. Bye, Judy. Thank you for helping me with my hearing issues. I know, I'm supposed to go every 3 months. Back to Costco.
I've never been to Costco.
It's clean.
I've never been to Costco.
Oh, well.
It's like a car. My boss was saying.
Somebody expected it, I guess that was different, but- Or try the parking lot. They.
Then I hear it's always crowded.
Yeah, it's very bad. You have to stand in line for hours. Go check it out.
Trader Joe's.
It's just paint on the tickets.
What time is it?
People are jumping ship here. We have 2 minutes till cleanup. Oh, somebody took my brushes to clean. That was very nice. Don't know who did it.
Need something dark in that job.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw that in. Thank you.
I love it's obviously you don't.
Well,
And originally you were 20,000 square foot.
not bad. Yeah, too much charge.
What do you say? We went to. No, I was living in Hoboken. I mean, great. Because that was you. Yeah. 4 o'clock in the morning.
Is that black?
Yes. Is there anything plans? So you gonna go? Yes. I ran that. Yes.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm so thrilled you came. This is dark green. Lindsay, this time don't.
Yeah, everyone's really fine. Is the oil mask still?
Yeah, I'll do some blending. Blend it in. collage. I wouldn't abandon it. Wait, yeah, come around.
I like that bit of red tomorrow. That's very cool.
There's other people at home tuned in.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you,
The
John.
people at home tuned in.
Yes,
Can they share?
yes, they share everything.
I mean, with you right now.
That's all I have to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like some information. Well, I mean, well, it's actually broken up. Yeah. But softening. And it may be because it's wet. I like the violet with the yellow.
That's the color of the Phoenix Suns. Who they are?
Basketball? Are you leaving? All right, stay warm. Thanks for coming. That's her name. Let's see, is it clean up? Oh gosh, we have to clean up, folks. Let's stop and clean up. And we could start sharing if folks got quiet here. I'm stopping the share of the painting. Daniel, I feel like you want to share. Come on up. Laura and Diane, I'm sorry, we're going to start sharing. No, don't apologize.
Me too.
All right, Daniel has got the stage front and center. He made 2 abstracts.
Beautiful.
Does this one have an idea or a theme behind it?
I call it a messy fire.
Messy fire.
Mm.
Fires are on our mind today with good reason. Great
Very
color.
nice. Beautiful.
I kind of don't like it because, well, abstract is not my forte, and this is more experimental, and it's just a mess.
Sometimes abstraction is just. What's the other one? You like this one better? Why?
Oh,
That one, I call it bliss in solitude.
mm.
Bliss and solitude.
Bliss in solitude.
Aha.
And that one that was just experimental for minimalism, and well, I just wanted to get something well, when you're alone and you feel kind of like blissful or something like that.
Cool.
But okay, that's me being pretentious, and I don't like being pretentious.
Well, I don't find you pretentious.
No. It's nice. I like it.
I was just gonna say that, just like a whale.
Well, you might interpret it that, but I never intended a whale or something like that.
I like the color. Peaceful.
And yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that was your intention, right? When you said being alone and blissful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes being alone is fine. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's not always fine. It'll be like many cartoons trying to say, "Oh, you have to be with always people," and that. Sometimes it's fine to be alone.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, thank you, Daniel.
Mhm.
Anyone else here who'd like to share? Diane, your first class?
Yes.
Come on up. Just be careful of the wires here, please. Don't trip. So Diane is a brand new student, and Am I correct in saying you've never done art at all
Not at all.
before?
I've written poetry, I've sang in bands, I've acted.
This is your first
This
visual
is-
art.
Yes.
Well, she's like me, right?
Hi.
Just like you.
I am devastated by what's going on in California right now. And I have family there that used to live there. They're in Arizona. But when I used to go visit them, and just looking at the mountains, the beauty, the feel of the Santa Ana winds on your skin, it was just so beautiful. Now I'm seeing, I have a lot of anger that Mother Nature's being destroyed. And these are things I'm never gonna see again.
Mm.
So
It's beautiful.
thank you. It's like I said, it's just, I think everybody's being touched by this in one way or another, but it was very close to home to me, having family there. So I appreciated the class, meeting everybody. This was beautiful, was very cathartic, and I hope to return next week.
Well, we will welcome you back.
Thank you so much, Liz. It
And
was a
I
pleasure
often
meeting
say that
everybody.
art is a great way to heal.
Yes,
So
it is. Thank you.
I'm
for your help.
delighted to hear you found
There's a great way.
heal. Delighted that you found an outlet here today. Anyone else here who wants to share today? Please come up. Alina. I do want to make everyone aware when you're sharing, when it's sharing time, we need to keep noise down to a minimum. I don't know if you realize when you push the chairs, John, can you hear me? John, when you push the chairs on the floor in here, it makes quite a noise. So when we're having sharing, if you could lift the chairs. Isn't this lovely?
That is fantastic.
Can we turn it more flat?
Beautiful.
Great colors, right?
Yeah.
I don't fully understand abstract. I feel like anybody can do it, even a child. It's just a mess on the paper. I was intending to make some of the colors that the artist did, but that's very challenging to do the mixes.
That's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Abstraction is very difficult to understand.
Mhm.
But the best way to figure it out is to do it because you realize all the decisions you have to make. You get a sense of what the artist goes through while they are creating abstract. So, yeah.
This is more like marbling. There's some more.
Which
lot
do you
of-
like better, this one or the first one you showed us?
I like this one because I like organized things.
Okay, this one is more organized for you.
Yes.
All right.
The other one, I had no clue what to do, but I copied the artist.
Yes,
Pretty good at that.
you can see that
Beautiful.
it's similar to the painting we had up. Awesome, thank you. Lindsay, you're good today. Tomorrow, I know yours is in Finnish. Yes, no, looks like a no. Okay. Folks at home, Robin? Oh, Susan, you're first in my
Okay.
lineup.
Wow.
Very nice.
I took
That's it.
I took what the artist did and I just kind of made it my own. I used watercolor and markers.
Beautiful, beautiful
Thank-
colors, beautiful shapes, flow, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love watercolors and then using these markers that I get. I like that technique.
I like the line work very much. Hello. Good morning.
Thank you.
Here to you.
This was fun. Not too
Good. I'm
serious.
glad you enjoyed it so much.
Yes. Thank
Here
you.
to you. John, I neglected to ask if you wanted to share. Okay, Robin, we're gonna let you share, but I forgot to ask John if he wanted to share.
So is John going to share? Love to see it.
He's gonna share next.
Okay.
I don't know if that's important, that card.
No, somebody dropped a business card. I've been
Oh,
stepping on it.
so
the
where do I
whole
put
time.
it?
Just hold it up to the screen. Move it. Yes.
Oh, lovely, beautiful.
I'm not done yet. I have to go back into it after it dries and complete my shapes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the underpainting.
Colors are lovely.
Colors,
Beautiful.
lovely.
It's reminding me of a Kandinsky painting. I can't remember which
Mm.
one. You might want to look at some of Kandinsky.
Thank you. And your work is lovely as well. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome. All right, Robin, you're on now. Sharing is a great way to get ideas
Mhm.
and
I don't know what this is.
advice.
Can you see it?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Great motion and colors.
It does
Yeah.
look like
It-
the ocean, doesn't
I
it?
haven't done anything like this in a long time, so I want to explore it more. This isn't the, I don't know what it is.
It really moves. It's
It doesn't
motion.
have to be anything. That's the whole idea, Robin. It's a composition.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. I think
Yeah.
there's something missing, so that I would like to add to it, but we'll see.
All right.
I
Send me a
love it.
picture as always. Well done. Great colors, Robin.
Yeah.
Let me show you very fast what I did
I
with
do
the,
want to see what you did last week. Wow.
but
Oh.
it's not finished. I can't, it's really weird. I wanted to
Let's turn
cover.
it upside down. I want to see it completely 360.
Wow. That
love
is
the shape.
fantastic.
That's nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, that's a collage and pastels, but it doesn't feel finished. This is a painting. This is one, Liz, that I've been working on, and I don't think I showed you the
Oh, this
end.
one is finished now. This is
Oh,
fantastic.
yeah.
It is, and I'm not sure which way it goes, but this,
I will tell you it's finished.
It's great.
great.
thanks. Okay, thanks for looking and your comments.
You're doing really well.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Eileen, did you want to share? All right, so we have come to the end of today's session. It was a delight and a pleasure working with you all. I look forward to next week. It's not the last week in January. I think it's the second to last week. I will have another new cutting edge artist for us to look at and discuss, and a whole new project. So I hope you all stay warm, although it's gonna get even colder.
Well, Liz, next week is no class at what holiday is it?
Martin Luther King is
Right.
Monday.
That's Monday. There's no cancellations next week. Yeah.
Okay, so we have
On Tuesday, yes. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I will see you all soon. And Art on.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Beautiful work.
Thanks for a great class.
You
Great
are
work.
so welcome. Bye, everyone.